Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the U.S. Liberty, watching the enemy fleet approach through the darkness of space. 200 alien ships moved toward Earth, like a swarm of deadly insects. Their hulls gleamed silver under the distant sun, and each one was twice the size of his own vessel. "How many ships do we have ready for battle?" Jake asked his communications officer. 47 ships total, sir. That includes everything from destroyers to patrol boats, Lieutenant Amy Foster replied from her station. Her voice was steady, but Jake could see the worry in her eyes. Jake nodded grimly. 47 human ships against 200 alien warships. The odds were not good. He had been fighting in space for 15 years, but he had never seen anything like this. The alien fleet belonged to something called the Zephyrian Empire. Intelligence reports said it was made up of 4 different alien species working together. "Sir, incoming transmission from the lead alien ship," Foster announced. "Put it on screen," Jake ordered. The main display flickered, and an alien face appeared. It looked like a giant insect with multiple eyes and sharp mandibles. When it spoke, the translation software turned its clicking sounds into words. "I am Admiral Krikstal of the Vextar race. You will surrender your world immediately. Resistance is pointless. Your primitive weapons cannot harm our ships." Jake stepped forward. "This is Captain Morrison of the Earth Defense Fleet. Earth will not. Surrender. If you want our planet, you'll have to fight for it." The alien's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "So be it. Your species will learn the price of defying the Zephyrian Empire." The transmission ended. Jake turned to his crew. "All ships, battle positions, launch all fighters. This is what we trained for." The space around Earth erupted into chaos. Human ships fired everything they had at the approaching aliens. Missiles streaked through the void, and laser beams cut through the darkness. For a moment, Jake felt hope as he watched human weapons strike alien hulls. Then the alien ships activated their shields. Blue energy barriers surrounded each vessel, and the human weapons simply bounced off them. Not a single alien ship took damage. "Our weapons aren't working," Foster shouted over the noise of alarms. "Their shields are stopping everything." The aliens began firing back. Green plasma bolts shot from their ships like deadly lightning. When they hit human vessels, the results were terrible. The U's Ranger exploded in a ball of fire. The U.E.S. Freedom broke in half and spun helplessly through space. "All ships, evasive maneuvers," Jake ordered, but it was too late for many of his fleet. From Earth's surface, people looked up to see flashes of light in the sky. They thought it was a fireworks show at first. They didn't know they were watching their defenders die. The alien plasma weapons were incredibly powerful. They cut through human armor like it was made of paper. Ship after ship fell to the alien assault. Jake watched helplessly as the U.S. Democracy, commanded by his old friend Captain Pete Wilson, took a direct hit and vanished in an explosion. "Sir, we've lost 30 ships already," Foster reported. "We can't keep this up." Jake gritted his teeth. "Keep fighting. Earth is counting on us." But the battle was already lost. More alien ships were breaking away from the main fleet and heading toward Earth itself. Jake realized with horror what they were planning to do. "They're going to attack the cities directly," he said. On Earth, air raid sirens began wailing across every major city. People ran for shelter, but there was nowhere to hide from weapons that could destroy entire city blocks with a single shot. New York was hit first. Green plasma beams fell from the sky like rain. Skyscrapers melted and collapsed. Central Park became a crater. Millions of people died in seconds. London was next. The Tower Bridge disappeared in a flash of green light. Big Ben toppled over as plasma fire swept across the city. Then Tokyo, where the alien beams turned the busy streets into rivers of molten metal. Moscow suffered the same fate. The Kremlin was reduced to rubble. Red Square became a smoking hole in the ground. Jake watched the destruction from space, feeling sick to his stomach. This was not war. This was slaughter. "Captain, we have 12 ships left," Foster said quietly. "Admiral Chun is ordering all remaining vessels to retreat to Luna Station." Jake wanted to keep fighting, but he knew it was hopeless. Set course for Luna Station. Emergency speed. As the surviving human ships fled toward the moon, the alien bombardment of Earth continued. City after city fell to the terrible green fire. Within 6 hours, human civilization was in ruins. At Luna Station, the remaining commanders held an emergency meeting. Admiral Sarah Chun looked older than her 60 years as she addressed the survivors. "Earth has surrendered," she announced. "The President transmitted our surrender 2 hours ago. The aliens have agreed to spare the remaining population if we stop fighting." Jake slammed his fist on the table. "We can't just give up." "Look around, Morrison," Sean replied sadly. "We have 12 ships left out of 47. Half our cities are gone. Billions are dead. What choice do we have?" Jake stared out the window at Earth. His home planet looked different now. Instead of the blue and green world he remembered, he could see brown scars where the great cities used to be. Smoke clouds covered entire continents. The aliens had won. In less than 1 day, they had conquered humanity's home world and broken its defenses. As Jake watched, alien ships began landing on Earth's surface. Soon, the survivors would be rounded up and put to work as slaves. But deep in the outer reaches of the solar system, on a secret base hidden among the moons of Saturn, Commander Lisa Hayes received Jake's final transmission before Earth went silent. She looked at the message for a long time, then turned to her team of scientists and engineers. "They think they've won," she said quietly. "They have no idea what's coming." The fall of Earth was complete. The aliens celebrated their easy victory. But their triumph would not last long. Humanity was down, but not out. And when humans fight back, they fight to win. 2 years had passed since Earth fell to the alien invaders. The planet looked very different now. Where great cities once stood, gray alien structures rose into the sky. Human survivors worked in mining camps and factories, digging up resources for their new masters. Colonel Ryan Davis crouched behind a red rock in the Australian desert, watching an alien supply convoy through his binoculars. 3 large trucks moved slowly down the dirt road, escorted by 2 alien patrol vehicles. The trucks were carrying plasma weapons and shield generators to the mining facility in what used to be Perth. "How many guards do you count?" whispered Sergeant Bill Carter, lying beside Ryan in the sand. 8 aliens total, 2 in each escort vehicle, 4 riding on the trucks, Ryan replied. "We can take them." Ryan led the largest human resistance group on Earth. They called themselves the Human Liberation Front. For 2 years, they had been fighting a secret war against the occupiers. They lived in hidden caves and abandoned mine shafts, moving at night and striking when the aliens least expected it. Ryan gave a hand signal to his team. 20 human fighters were positioned along the convoy route, hidden behind rocks and in small trenches they had dug during the night. Each person carried weapons they had stolen from alien patrols or built in secret workshops. The convoy came closer. Ryan could see the aliens clearly now. These were saurids, the reptile-like species that worked as soldiers for the Zephyrian Empire. They were bigger than humans and had tough scales instead of skin, but they could still be killed if you knew where to shoot them. "Now!" Ryan shouted. The desert erupted in gunfire. Human fighters popped up from their hiding spots and opened fire on the convoy. The aliens were caught completely by surprise. 2 guards fell immediately. green blood pooling in the sand around them. But the aliens fought back quickly. They had better weapons and armor. Plasma bolts flew through the air, turning rocks into melted glass. One of Ryan's fighters, a young woman named Kate Brooks, took a plasma hit to the chest and fell without a sound. "Keep firing," Ryan yelled, shooting his stolen plasma rifle at the nearest alien vehicle. The battle lasted 10 minutes. When it was over, all the aliens were dead, but Ryan had lost 3 of his people. It was always like this. Every victory cost human lives they could not afford to lose. "Load up everything useful," Ryan ordered his survivors. "We have 5 minutes before their backup arrives." Meanwhile, on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, Dr. Susan Blake worked in a secret laboratory hidden beneath the ice. She had been studying captured alien technology for 2 years. Trying to understand how their weapons and shields worked, Susan was one of the smartest humans alive. Before the invasion, she had been working on advanced computer systems. Now she spent her days taking apart alien plasma rifles and shield generators, learning their secrets piece by piece. "I think I've figured it out," she said to her assistant, Dr. Carl Jung. "The alien shields work by creating a magnetic field that pushes away incoming projectiles. But they have a weakness." Carl looked up from his own work. "What kind of weakness?" "The shields are designed to stop fast-moving objects like bullets and missiles, but they don't work well against slower attacks. And there's something else. The shields run on a specific frequency. If we can match that frequency, we might be able to turn them off." Susan had made other discoveries too. She learned that alien plasma weapons were powered by small fusion reactors. She found out how their communication systems worked. Most importantly, she discovered that alien technology was actually not that advanced. It was just different from human technology. "The aliens aren't smarter than us," she told Carl. "They just had a head start. Give me another year, and I'll build weapons that can beat theirs." Back on Earth, the aliens were getting tired of human resistance. General Vecmer, a huge sword with scars covering his scaled face, stood in his command center in what used to be London. He was angry. "The humans are becoming a problem," he told his aide, a smaller reptile named Captain Sektar. "Their attacks are getting bolder. Yesterday, they destroyed an entire supply depot in North America." "Should we increase security?" Sektar asked. "No, we will teach them a lesson they will never forget," Vecmer replied. His yellow eyes glowed with cruel pleasure. "For every alien killed by human terrorists, we will execute 10 human prisoners. For every facility they destroy, we will burn down one of their camps." The alien punishments were terrible. When Ryan's team destroyed a fuel depot near Sydney, the aliens responded by killing 50 innocent humans. When another resistance group in Europe attacked a communications tower, the aliens burned down an entire refugee camp. But the harsh punishments had an unexpected effect. Instead of breaking human spirit, they made more people want to join the resistance. Every day, new fighters came to Ryan's hidden base in the desert. They brought stories of alien cruelty and burning desire for revenge. Captain Jake Morrison had also been busy during the 2 years since Earth fell. He commanded a small fleet of human ships hidden in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. They moved from rock to rock, never staying in one place too long. Jake's job was to gather information about alien movements and pass it to resistance groups on the planets. His ships were old and damaged, held together with spare parts and determination. But they were still fighting. "Captain, we're picking up alien communications," reported Lieutenant Amy Foster from her position at the sensor station. "Looks like they're planning to expand their occupation to the Alpha Centauri colonies." Jake felt his blood run cold. There were still free human colonies around other stars. If the aliens attacked them too, Humanity might be wiped out completely. Send this information to Commander Hayes on Titan immediately, Jake ordered. She needs to know what's coming. On Titan, Saturn's largest moon, Commander Lisa Hayes read Jake's message with growing concern. The aliens were getting ready to spread their conquest beyond Earth. Soon, every human in the galaxy might be under alien rule, but Lisa had a secret. Hidden deep beneath Titan's surface was Project Nightfall, the most classified human research program ever created. For 2 years, her team had been working on something that would change everything. Lisa walked through the underground laboratory, past rows of scientists and engineers working on mysterious devices. She stopped at a large window overlooking the main construction bay. Inside, something incredible was taking shape. How much longer? She asked Dr. Tony Walker, the chief engineer. 6 more months, Tony replied. Maybe less if we push the teams. Harder, Lisa nodded. The aliens thought they had won. They thought humans were broken and defeated. They had no idea what was coming for them. The underground war continued, but it was about to become something much bigger. Humanity was preparing to strike back, and when they did, the galaxy would never be the same again. Commander Lisa Hayes stood in the main conference room with the hidden base on Titan. Around the table sat the leaders of human resistance from across the solar system. Colonel Ryan Davis had traveled from Earth in a stolen alien shuttle. Captain Jake Morrison had come from the asteroid belt with his small fleet. Dr. Susan Blake arrived from Europa with a briefcase full of alien technology samples. Lisa looked at each face around the table. These people had kept humanity alive during the darkest 2 years in human history. Now it was time to tell them about Project Nightfall. What I'm about to show you must remain absolutely secret, Lisa began. The aliens think they know everything about human technology. They're wrong. She pressed a button on the table, and the lights dimmed. A holographic display appeared, showing the layout of the Titan base. But this wasn't the small research facility the aliens thought existed here. The display revealed a massive underground complex stretching for miles beneath the moon's surface. For the past 2 years, we've been building this, Lisa said. The aliens know about the surface base, but they have no idea what's underneath. Ryan leaned forward in his chair. What exactly are we looking at? The future of human warfare, Lisa replied. She pressed another button, and the display changed to show a sleek starship, unlike anything the humans had ever built. This is a Ghost-class destroyer. We've built 80 of them. Jake's eyes widened. 80 warships? How is that possible? We barely have enough materials to keep my 12 ships running. Dr. Tony Walker, the chief engineer, spoke up from his position near the display controls. We've been mining the outer moons and asteroids using automated drones. The aliens never paid attention to the small mining operations. They thought we were just gathering basic supplies. Susan opened her briefcase and pulled out several strange devices. While Tony was building ships, I was creating new weapons. These are neural interface systems. They connect directly to a pilot's brain, allowing them to control the ship's weapons and defenses with thought alone. She activated one of the devices. A small hologram appeared, showing a human brain connected to various ship systems by glowing lines. With these interfaces, our pilots can react faster than any alien crew. They can target multiple enemies at once and coordinate attacks without radio communication. Lisa nodded. But that's not our biggest advantage. Tony, show them the Genesis drive. Tony smiled and switched the display to show a strange engine system. It looked nothing like the rocket engines humans had been using for decades. This is faster than light travel, but not like anything the aliens have. Their ships use something called hyperspace tunnels. They have to follow specific routes between stars, and it takes days or weeks to travel. The Genesis drive is different, Lisa continued. It folds space itself. We can appear anywhere in the solar system in less than 5 minutes. The aliens won't even see us coming. Ryan studied the display carefully. What about their shields? Our weapons still can't get through them. Susan smiled. I solved that problem 6 months ago. The alien shields work on a rotating frequency pattern. I've built new plasma cannons that can match and disrupt those frequencies. One shot from our new weapons will bring down any alien shield. Jake shook his head in amazement. This is incredible. But how did you keep it secret? The aliens monitor all our communications. Lisa walked to another control panel. We developed quantum entanglement communicators. They use paired particles to send messages instantly across any distance. The aliens can't detect or intercept them because the particles are connected at the quantum level. She activated the communicator, and voices came through from resistance cells across the solar system. Fighters on Mars reported alien troop movements. Teams on Venus gave updates on mining operations. Even groups hidden in the outer planets were connected to the network. Every resistance cell now has one of these communicators, Lisa explained. When we launch our counterattack, every human fighter in the solar system will know exactly what to do and when to do it. Tony brought up a new display showing the construction bays beneath Titan. Massive machines worked day and night, building weapons and ships with materials that had been secretly gathered for 2 years. Human workers moved between the machines. Like ants, each person focused on their part of the project. We also developed phase cloak technology, Tony said. Our ships can become completely invisible to alien sensors. They use the same quantum principles as our communicators. The aliens literally cannot see us coming. Susan pulled out another device from her briefcase. And this is a neural targeting system. When connected to our weapons, it allows the ships' guns to lock onto multiple targets simultaneously. A single Ghost destroyer can engage 20 alien ships at once. Lisa looked around the table at the amazed faces of the resistance leaders. We're not just planning to drive the aliens off Earth. We're going to destroy their entire occupation force and take the war to their home worlds. Ryan was quiet for a long moment. How long before we're ready? 2 weeks, Lisa replied. We need that time to distribute the new weapons to all resistance cells and move our fleet into position. Jake stood up and walked to the display showing the Ghost destroyers. 80 ships against their entire fleet. Will it be enough? It will have to be, Lisa said firmly. But remember, we're not the same humans who lost the first battle. We've learned from our defeats. We've adapted their technology and made it better. Most importantly, we know something they don't. What's that? Susan asked. Lisa smiled coldly. They think they've already won. They've grown comfortable and lazy. Their ships patrol the same routes every day. Their guards follow the same schedules. They've stopped watching for major threats because they believe human resistance is just a minor annoyance. Tony nodded. Admiral Crickstall moved most of his fleet to the outer system. He's preparing to attack the Alpha Centauri colonies. That means only 50 alien ships are guarding Earth right now. 50 ships, Ryan repeated. We can handle 50 ships. Lisa pressed a final button, and the display showed a star map of the entire solar system. Red dots marked alien positions, while blue dots showed hidden human forces. There were far more blue dots than anyone had imagined. Operation Rebirth begins in 2 weeks, Lisa announced. We'll hit every major alien installation simultaneously. Earth, Mars, Europa, the asteroid mining stations, everything. By the time they realize what's happening, it will be too late. The meeting ended with each leader returning to their forces to prepare for the coming battle. But before they left, Lisa had one final message. The aliens made one crucial mistake, she said. They thought breaking our cities and killing our people would break our spirit. Instead, it made us stronger. They're about to learn that humans don't just fight to survive. We fight to win. As the resistance leaders departed Titan, none of them noticed the small alien probe hidden among the moon's rings. It had been watching and listening, and now it was sending an urgent message back to Admiral Crickstall. The aliens were about to discover that their easy victory was about to become their greatest defeat. Operation Rebirth began at exactly midnight Earth time. Across the solar system, human resistance fighters checked their new weapons and waited for the signal. In hidden bases and secret caves, men and women who had lost everything to the alien invasion prepared to take back their worlds. Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his new ship, the U.E.'s Vengeance. It was one of the 80 ghost destroyers built in secret on Titan. The bridge looked nothing like the old human ships. Neural interface cables hung from the ceiling, and holographic displays showed information directly into the crew's minds. "All ships report ready," Lieutenant Amy Foster said from her position. She wore a neural headset that connected her to the communication systems of the entire human fleet. "Resistance cells on Earth, Mars, and Europa are standing by." Jake nodded. 2 years ago, he had watched helplessly as the aliens destroyed Earth's defenses. Today, he would get his revenge. Begin Operation Rebirth. All ships activate Genesis drives. Space around the hidden human fleet began to bend and twist. The Genesis drive didn't move ships through space like normal engines. Instead, it folded space itself, allowing the ships to step from one location to another instantly. In seconds, Jake's fleet appeared in Mars orbit, right in the middle of the alien base. The aliens had no warning at all. One moment their sensors showed empty space, and the next moment 80 human warships surrounded their installations. Admiral Crickstall was meeting with his officers in the main command center when the alarms started screaming. The insectoid alien rushed to the nearest display screen, his multiple eyes unable to believe what they showed. "Impossible," he clicked in his alien language. "Human ships. How did they get here?" But there was no time to figure out how the humans had appeared. The ghost destroyers opened fire immediately. Their new plasma cannons shot beams of pure energy that cut through alien shields. Like they weren't even there. The U's Liberty, commanded by Captain Steve Johnson, targeted the main alien communication tower. One shot from its neural-guided weapons turned the massive structure into melting metal. Without communications, the alien defenders couldn't coordinate their response. Lieutenant Amy Foster piloted the UES Freedom in a daring attack on the alien command ship. Her neural interface allowed her to control the ship's weapons with her thoughts alone. She locked onto 6 different alien vessels at once and destroyed them all in a single volley. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons couldn't hit targets they couldn't see. The human ships used their phase cloak technology to appear and disappear like ghosts. They would materialize long enough to fire their weapons, then vanish before the aliens could return fire. "Their shields aren't working," one alien officer reported to Admiral Crickstall. "The human weapons are penetrating our defenses." Crickstall watched in horror as his fleet was torn apart. In 15 minutes, he lost 25 ships without destroying a single human vessel. How is this possible? 2 years ago, their weapons couldn't even scratch our shields. On Earth, Colonel Ryan Davis led the ground assault on the alien occupation forces. His resistance fighters emerged from their hiding places, carrying new plasma rifles built from alien technology. But these weapons were better than anything the aliens had. "Remember, aim for the weak spots in their armor," Ryan told his fighters. As they approached the alien base in what used to be Sydney, Dr. Blake found the places where their scales don't overlap. "Hit them there." The resistance attack began with explosions across the alien compound. hidden charges that had been planted. Weeks earlier destroyed power generators and communication arrays. The alien guards rushed out of their barracks, confused and unprepared for a major assault. Ryan's neural targeting system helped him shoot 3 aliens before they could even raise their weapons. The system connected his brain directly to his rifle's aiming computer, allowing him to hit targets faster than any normal human could. Captain Karen White led another attack on the detention center, where thousands of humans were being held as slaves. Her team used new phase grenades that could pass through walls before exploding. The alien guards never knew what hit them. "Free the prisoners," Karen shouted as her fighters poured into the compound. "Get them to the safe zones." On Europa, Commander Lisa Hayes launched her own surprise attack against the alien fortress built into the moon's ice. Her forces had been hiding underneath the installation for months, waiting for this moment. "Bring down their shield generator first," Lisa ordered her assault team. "Then we can hit them from orbit." Dr. Susan Blake led a team of scientists turned soldiers into the alien research facility. They moved through the corridors like they owned the place, their neural interfaces allowing them to hack alien computer systems with their thoughts. "I'm downloading everything," Susan reported as she connected her brain to an alien data terminal. Their ship designs, weapon specifications, star charts. "We're taking it all." The battle for Europa lasted 3 hours. When it was over, General Vekmer himself was captured alive. The brutal Sored who had ordered the execution of thousands of human prisoners now sat in chains in a human prison cell. Back in Mars orbit, Admiral Krickstahl realized his position was hopeless. Half his fleet was destroyed, and the humans showed no signs of slowing down. Worse, he was receiving reports of similar attacks across the solar system. "All ships retreat to the outer system," he ordered. "We must regroup and warn the home worlds." But Jake Morrison had anticipated this move. As the remaining alien ships tried to flee, more human vessels appeared around them using Genesis drives. The aliens found themselves trapped in a sphere of human warships. "This is Admiral Morrison of the human Starfleet," Jake broadcast on all alien frequencies. "You invaded our system. You destroyed our cities. You enslaved our people. Now you face the consequences." The final battle lasted only 20 minutes. When it ended, Admiral Krickstahl's flagship was the only alien vessel left intact. Jake had ordered it captured rather than destroyed. He wanted prisoners who could tell him about alien space and their home worlds. Across the solar system, similar scenes played out. On Earth, alien occupation forces surrendered or died fighting. The mining installations on asteroids fell to human assault teams. The communication relays in the outer planets went silent. Dr. Tony Walker monitored the entire operation from his command center on Titan. "All primary objectives secured," he reported to Lisa Hayes. "Alien resistance is collapsing everywhere." Lisa watched the tactical displays showing human forces advancing on every front. 2 years of planning and preparation had paid off perfectly, but this was just the beginning. "Send a message to all resistance cells," she ordered. "Phase 1 is complete. Begin Phase 2 immediately." Phase 2 meant taking the war beyond the solar system. Human ships equipped with Genesis drives could reach alien space in days rather than years. The hunters were about to become the hunted dot as the last alien installations fell silent. Jake Morrison stood on his bridge looking out at the red planet Mars. 2 years ago, it had been an alien stronghold. Now it flew human flags again. "Set course for the Alpha Centauri system," he told his navigator. "It's time to liberate our colonies and show the aliens what real space warfare looks like." The counterattack was complete, but the war was just beginning. Humanity had learned that the best defense was a devastating offense. The aliens were about to discover that their easy victory had awakened something far more dangerous than they ever imagined. 6 months after Operation Rebirth, Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of humanity's new flagship, the U.S. Terra Nova. Through the massive viewing window, he could see the home world of the Vextar, the insect-like aliens who had started the war against Earth. The planet looked peaceful from space, with green continents and blue oceans. But Jake knew that billions of aliens lived down there, the same species that had destroyed New York and London without mercy. Now their world was surrounded by 300 human warships. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the planet." "Surface," Lieutenant Amy Foster reported. "It's from the Vextar High Council." "Put it on screen," Jake ordered. The display showed a group of alien insects in what looked like a government building. Their leader, an old Vextar with scarred mandibles, spoke in a voice that shook with fear. "We surrender," the alien said. "Through the translation system, the Zephyrian Empire officially surrenders to the human forces. Please do not destroy our worlds." Jake felt no satisfaction in the alien's words. Too many humans had died for him to feel anything but cold determination. "Your surrender is accepted, but there will be conditions." The past 6 months had been a whirlwind of human victories. After liberating the solar system, Jake's fleet had used their Genesis drives to strike deep into alien space. The aliens had never faced an enemy that could appear anywhere without warning. The first alien colony to fall was Kepler 442b, a world where the reptilian Saurids had enslaved human colonists from Alpha Centauri. Captain Steve Johnson led the assault with 50 Ghost destroyers. The battle lasted less than 2 hours. "The aliens had no idea we were coming," Steve had reported after the victory. "Their sensors couldn't detect our ships until we were already firing. By then it was too late." Each victory had brought more alien surrenders. The crystalline Xenari gave up after losing their home system in a single day. The gaseous Netherans surrendered when human forces appeared around their gas giant worlds. Now only the Vextar remained, and they too were beaten. Commander Lisa Hayes had spent the months since Operation Rebirth establishing human control over former alien territories. She now commanded a network of monitoring stations that watched over dozens of star systems. "The aliens are no longer a threat," she reported to Jake during their weekly communication. "Their military forces have been disbanded. Their weapons have been confiscated. Most importantly, they're too scared to even think about fighting us again." Dr. Susan Blake had been busy as well. Her research teams were reverse engineering alien technology from across the galaxy. Every few weeks, they made new discoveries. That made human technology even more advanced. "I've figured out how their faster-than-light communication works," she told Jake during his visit to her new laboratory on Proxima Centauri b. "We can now send messages instantly to any point in the galaxy. We'll always know what's happening everywhere." But Susan's greatest achievement was the Mark 7 Genesis drive. The new engines could fold space across galactic distances, allowing human ships to travel between star systems in minutes instead of hours. "With these new drives, we can explore the entire galaxy," Susan explained as she showed Jake the prototype engine. "There might be other hostile species out there, but we'll find them before they find us." Dr. Tony Walker had been building the new human fleet. The shipyards around Earth now produced 10 new warships every week. Each one was more advanced than the last, incorporating lessons learned from the war against the Zephyrians. "We now have over 1,000 ships," Tony reported during the monthly fleet review. "Each one could defeat the entire alien fleet that attacked Earth 2 years ago. We're not just the strongest species in this part of the galaxy. We're the strongest by far." Colonel Ryan Davis had traded his guerrilla warfare for a new role as head of human colonial security. He now protected human settlements across 50 star systems, making sure that no alien species would ever threaten humanity again. The aliens learned their lesson, Ryan told Jake during a security briefing. Word has spread across the galaxy about what happens when you attack humans. Most alien species are going out of their way to be friendly to us now. The transformation of human civilization had been incredible. In just 2.5 years, humanity had gone from a conquered species to the dominant power in their region of space. Human colonies now existed on hundreds of worlds, and human ships patrolled thousands of star systems. Jake walked through the corridors of the Terra Nova, looking at the crew members who served under him. These were not the same humans who had lost the first battle against the aliens. War had changed them, made them harder and more determined. The ship's neural interface systems allowed the crew to think and react faster than any alien species. The Genesis drives gave them mobility that no enemy could match. The advanced weapons could destroy entire fleets in minutes. But the real change was in their attitude. Humans no longer saw themselves as a small species trying to survive in a dangerous galaxy. They knew they were the apex predators of space. "Admiral, we're ready to depart for the Andromeda Galaxy," Amy Foster reported from her station. "The new long-range Genesis drive is fully charged." Jake nodded. Humanity had conquered their local region of the Milky Way, but there were other galaxies to explore. Who knew what alien species might be out there, planning attacks on human space? "Take us out," Jake ordered. "It's time to see what's beyond our galaxy." As the Terra Nova prepared to jump to Andromeda, Jake thought about the journey that had brought humanity to this point. The aliens had invaded Earth, thinking humans were a weak species that could be easily conquered. They had learned too late that attacking humanity was the worst mistake they could make. The viewing screen showed Earth in the distance, blue and beautiful and safe. Human cities had been rebuilt, bigger and better than before. Human technology had advanced beyond anything the aliens had ever imagined. Human fleets patrolled space, protecting not just Earth, but hundreds of worlds. The Genesis drive activated, and space began to fold around the ship. In moments, they would be in another galaxy, ready to explore new worlds and meet new species. Some of those species might be friendly. Others might be hostile. But Jake wasn't worried. The galaxy had learned an important lesson about humanity. When humans are pushed to the edge, when their backs are against the wall, when everything they love is threatened, they don't break. They become something far more dangerous than their enemies ever imagined. The aliens had thought their victory was complete when they conquered Earth. They celebrated their easy triumph over the primitive human species. But their victory was short-lived, because they had made one fatal error. They had awakened humanity's true potential, and now the entire universe would learn to fear the species that turned defeat into dominance. That transformed invasion into conquest. That proved beyond doubt that attacking humans was the last mistake any alien species would ever make. The Terra Nova disappeared into the space between galaxies, carrying humanity toward new adventures and new challenges. Behind them, 1,000 human worlds continued to grow and prosper, protected by the most powerful military force the galaxy had ever seen. Their victory had indeed been short-lived, because humans were coming.